Hi friends, I'm Joe Hopkins, and this is 5 Minutes to Make Sense of the Bible. This short reflection is especially meant for folks who are reading 1st and 2nd Samuel as part of the Life and Times of King David reading program of Streetsville United Church. But if you're not participating in the program, you're welcome to listen too. Now, if you are reading 1 Samuel as part of the Life and Times of King David series, and you've dutifully read a few chapters so far, you may be asking yourself, when do I get to read about King David? Well, not yet. If you follow the reading series that we at Streetsville United Church developed, you won't read about King David this week, and neither will you read about King David next week. These first chapters of Samuel focus on the times, quote-unquote, of King David, or the time just before King David, really. These chapters are setting the stage on which King David eventually emerges, so please don't skip them. It's a sort of a slow burn narrative that foreshadows a lot of the conflicts and lessons that we will read later in 1st and 2nd Samuel. So here's a quick summary of chapters 1 through 7. The book opens with the story of the birth of Samuel, who grows up to be the prophet who anoints the first Israelite kings. Samuel is born in a story that is remarkably similar to the way that John the Baptist in the New Testament is born. Go ahead. Compare 1 Samuel chapter 1 to Luke chapter 1. And then after she gives birth, Samuel's mother offers a song of praise to God that is remarkably similar to the Virgin Mary's song of praise. Go ahead and compare 1 Samuel chapter 2 with Mary's Magnificat in the later part of Luke chapter 1. What do you make of that, friends? So the child Samuel grows up in the shrine of Shiloh as religious leadership in the land is changing. God is angry with the sons of the priest Eli because they are unjustly taking from worshippers' offering. Then God calls the child Samuel and, after 3 attempts at getting Samuel's attention, tells Samuel that God will kill the sons of the priest Eli and set up a new religious authority. Spoiler alert, that new religious authority is Samuel. Then we read an interlude about the wars between the Israelites and the Philistines, and in one of these battles, the Ark of the Covenant is lost. Not lost like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, but the Philistines defeat the Israelites in battle and take the Ark. Then again, bad, gross stuff happens to the Philistines who keep the Ark of the Covenant, so maybe it is kind of like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Anyway, the really important difference between the Bible story and the Hollywood movie is that God alone brings the Ark back to where it belongs. Indiana Jones can stay in his cramped office and actually get some work done. This week's reading ends with the prophet Samuel being recognized as the most powerful religious figure among the tribes of Israel. He adjudicates conflicts among the people while channeling the power of God, thus becoming the last of the judges, quote unquote, of the pre-monarchic tribes of Israel. I emphasize the word judge because the history book, 2 books previous to Samuel, is called Judges. And 1 Samuel chapters 1 through 7, in a lot of ways, is a continuation of the cycle of judges in ancient Israel. But trust me, change is coming. But so what? We read the Bible as people of faith not merely to increase our own knowledge, but to gain intimacy with God and to follow God's leading to God's preferred future, even as we live in the world of corruption and sin and violence, which at a fundamental level is not so different from the ancient world of the Bible. So here are some questions for reflection. First question is a two-parter. What stories of corruption in religious life have impacted you in your life? How have these stories affected your personal life and the community of faith that you've been part of? Question 2 also has two parts. What have been some times that you have sensed God calling you? How have those experiences affected your faith? And finally, question 3, what leaders do you turn to during times of change? And what qualities of leadership do you look for in those transition periods? So there, 5 minutes to make sense of the Bible. I hope that you'll continue to read the rest of 1 Samuel and notice some details that pique your curiosity. God often tries to catch our attention by piquing our curiosity. And as good as reading the Bible alone is, please remember that we make the most sense of the Bible when we read the Bible together. Peace, friends.